Michael had always considered himself adventurous, but this time he truly put his limits to the test. Inspired by a documentary on wildlife, he decided to live like a mole for 24 hours. His friends thought he was crazy, and maybe he was, but curiosity drove him deeper, literally. Michael chose a secluded part of his backyard to create his pseudo-mole habitat. He dug a series of tunnels just large enough to crawl through, complete with small chambers to mimic the burrows where moles live and rest. Armed with only a small flashlight, he entered the dark, damp labyrinth. Crawling on his hands and knees, Michael quickly realized the physical strain of living in such confined spaces. His muscles ached, and the lack of light disoriented him. An hour in, he already questioned his decision. To mimic the mole's diet, Michael had packed a meal of earthworms and other insects. The wriggling creatures were anything but appetizing. Yet, he knew he had to stay true to his experiment. With a grimace, he forced himself to eat. Despite the unsettling meal, he was struck by how the confined space amplified sounds. Every rustle of leaves above ground and each shuffle of his movement echoed eerily within the tunnels. Deep underground, he felt isolated. His mind played tricks on him, conjuring imaginary threats looming in the darkness. Sleep was nearly impossible. The cramped quarters allowed barely enough room to stretch out. The constant sensation of soil pressing in around him was suffocating. After what felt like an eternity, he finally dozed off, only to be awakened by the sensation of something crawling on his skin. Morning finally arrived, and with it, a profound sense of relief. Emerging from his underground experiment, Michael was greeted by the warm embrace of daylight. His body was sore, covered in dirt, and he'd never been so happy to see the sky. Friends, initially skeptical, gathered around, curious to hear about his experience. Michael, exhausted but triumphant, recounted his 24-hour journey. He spoke of the challenges, the moments of doubt, and the eerie silence of life underground. While he had no plans to repeat the experiment, he carried a newfound respect for the small creatures that live beneath our feet. In the end, Michael's adventure was more than a test of endurance. It was a humbling lesson in adaptation and survival. Living like a mole, even for a day, revealed a world few ever consider. A hidden realm of extraordinary resilience and quiet strength.